All right, hello everyone. Welcome to our flexibility flow. So we're going to take everything that we did in the mindful movement challenge over the last 10 days and we're going to put it together in a little flow. I have a bolster here. I also have 2 blocks, some options you could use, like maybe a chair. You could hold onto the base of the chair when we get to our blocks. You also don't need them if you don't want them. And then you'll want either like a bolster or a pillow or maybe a rolled up towel, because we're going to end in a restorative heart opening pose where we'll do a 5-minute meditation. So let's get right into it. I'm going to set props off to the side because I don't need them quite yet. And we're going to begin in any seated position that feels good to you. So I personally like to do a little crisscross applesauce, creating a long spine, softening the shoulders. Hands can come to your knees, either palms up or palms down, completely up to you. And before we even move, let's just take a few big, deep, easy breaths here. So just inhaling through the nose, open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. And beautiful. Do that 2 more times, inhaling through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. And 1 more. And beginning our movement right away by opening up our side body. I'm going to place my right hand onto the mat, left arm comes up. Inhaling here, exhale, reach over to the side, opening up the side body. And then inhale, move through center, exhale, switch. We're just going to connect breath and movement here. Inhale, moving through center, exhale, switching sides. And just moving from side to side. Feeling that space in between each rib lengthen and open. We'll do 1 more each way. And then coming back to center, taking both hands overhead, we'll inhale here and exhale, twist one way. So coming to an easy seated twist, making sure we have a nice long spine first, and then twist in that space that you created. Sending our breath down low into the belly during this twist. And then inhale, moving through center, sweeping hands overhead, and exhale, switching sides, so twisting the other way. And you may notice it feels a little bit different from side to side. That's okay. One side may feel a little bit easier than the other. And inhale, sweeping hands overhead. We're going to do 1 more each way. So exhale, twisting the other way. Beautiful. Then inhale, move through center, and exhale, switch. So good. And we're going to come back to center. We're going to make our way over to a tabletop. So we'll find all 4s here. And in our tabletop, we'll stack shoulders over wrists and hips over knees. We'll move through a few cat-cows here. So inhale, drop the belly to the mat, reach the crown of the head and the tailbone. This is our cow. And then exhale, cat, curl the spine, carve out the belly. So inhaling cow, exhaling cat. Just weaving your spine between these 2 shapes. Finding cow on the inhale, breathing out, finding cat. And doing a few more here. Inhaling cow, exhaling cat. And we'll come to a neutral spine. And we're going to give our wrists some love. So turning our hands so that middle fingers are pointed towards the wide edge of the mat. Thumbs pointed towards the top of the mat. We'll draw circles here with the body, just massaging out the wrists. Just doing a few circles, going 1 direction. And reverse, we'll go around the other direction. And And then coming back to center, we'll turn our hands once again. So this time it'll be thumbs pointed towards the wide edge of the mat, middle fingers pointed towards the knees. And we could always do one at a time. So we're going to shift our weight back until you feel that stretch in the wrists and the forearms. And so good. If you're doing one at a time, you can go ahead and switch sides now. And we're going to flip our hands over. So back of the hand will go on the mat, palms pointed towards the body, thumbs will be pointed towards one another. Again, we can do one at a time. And then curl your fingers in, almost creating like this little gorilla foot, and then relax. So you'll curl and relax. If we're doing one at a time, go ahead and switch. And then release, bringing our hands back to neutral. We'll tuck our toes behind us and sit back on the heels. So you'll feel this little opening in the toes and the foot. And I like to interlace my fingers and just circle out the wrists a few times. Beautiful. Then taking our hands to our low back, clasping them, lifting them up for a chest expansion, opening across the front of the body. Feeling that nice deep opening in the chest. And then we'll take our clasped hands, bring them to the outside of the right hip, and drop your left ear down towards the left shoulder. Inhale, moving through center and switching sides. So hands to the outside on the left hip, right ear drops towards the right shoulder. And then coming back to center, lifting up one more time, finding that chest expansion. And then we'll release the feet and release the hands, coming to a child's pose. So sliding hands overhead, separating the knees just a little bit more than hips distance, and allowing your forehead to rest on the mat. Now, as we're here, really breathing into the belly, feeling those nice deep belly breaths. Adding a bit of dynamic movement on your inhale, we're going to come up to a plank on the knees. So we'll inhale here, exhale with control, keep the elbows in tight, lower down to the belly. Inhale, a baby cobra, slide that guy out of the way. Inhale, a baby cobra. There's no weight in my hands, just a tiny little back bend. Exhale, press back to child's pose. We'll do that again. So inhale, coming forward, modified plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, baby cobra, and exhale, child's pose. We're going to do 2 more of those, just waking up the body. Inhaling, modified plank. Keep those elbows in tight. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, baby cobra, no weight in the hands. And exhale, child's pose. And one more time. Inhale, come forward, modified plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, child's pose. So good. On your next inhale, we're going to come up to our hands and we'll tuck the toes and lift the hips, finding a down dog. So in down dog, feet are about hips distance apart, hands are shoulders distance apart, and we'll pedal the feet out a few times. So dropping one heel, dropping the other heel. And then we'll look up at our hands and we're going to walk to the top of the mat, finding a rag doll. So feet are hips distance apart, grab opposite elbows and just let the body hang. Crown of the head bows towards the earth. If it feels good to you, you could just sway from side to side. Really letting the backs of the legs soften. Crown of the head releases so we don't have tension in the neck. And we'll bring our hands down to the floor. Right foot stays where it is, left foot steps back. So we're in a runner's lunge. And we'll just rock forward and back a few times, waking up the hips. And then from here, dropping the back knee, I'm gonna walk my front foot a little bit farther in front because we're moving into a low lunge. So low lunge, we wanna make sure that the knee is a little bit behind or at least stacked over the ankle. We never wanna push the knee over the ankle. It's not good for our knee. We'll sweep both hands overhead, soften the shoulders, release the hips down towards the ground. From here, we're moving into my favorite iliopsoas stretch, really, is we're gonna take this right hand down, left arm tips up and over, and you'll feel that opening in the side body. Breath stays low in the abdomen, softening our hips down towards the floor. And keep breathing. Then coming back through center, both hands overhead, taking our hands down to the ground, framing the front foot. Shift the weight back, so we're straightening out this right leg. Toes come towards the forehead, making sure our hips are on the tabletop, so don't let that back hip release back towards the heel. And then we'll hinge and fold forward, finding this nice deep opening for the back of the leg. Breathing. Anytime something feels tight, I like to imagine when I inhale that area is filled with breath. And then when I exhale, it just softens and melts just a little bit more. Taking one more inhale and one more exhale. Beautiful. Bending this front knee once again. Grab your blocks if they aren't close, and we're going to bring them to the top of the mat. And we'll tuck the back toes once again, so we're in this runner's lunge. Taking a moment here, if you want, rock forward and back a few times. And then I'll take a big step in with my back foot, planting the heel, moving into pyramid. So my feet are separated by about 18 inches or so, maybe a foot and a half, 2 feet, all 10 toes pointed towards the top of the mat, hands are on the block. And I'm just melting over my front leg. Breathing here. You know where we're headed if you did the mindful movement challenge with me. We are going to add a twist. So left hand will stay where it is, the right arm's going to open up, and you will notice right away the outside of that right leg is opening. Our IT band, our outer hip, it is thanking us for giving it a little bit of love. You can even circle out the wrist on the top here. And then we'll take our right hand back down, folding over the front leg once again, and we'll step to the top of the mat and roll ourselves up. Good. We're going to go into that shoulder series with our eagle arm. So both hands come in front of you. Inhale here, exhale, right arm goes over the left, kind of crisscross like a scissors. Twizzle up the arms or grab opposite shoulders here. Reach up towards the sky and tip your hands away from your face. Breathing here, finding that opening in between the shoulder blades. And then releasing, taking your hands behind you, working on grabbing opposite elbows. Same thing, different side. So taking our hands in front of us, crossing left arm on top or the opposite arm, whichever one you didn't do. Twizzle up the arms or grab opposite shoulders, reach up and tip away with the hands. Beautiful. And then opening up, reaching behind you, grabbing for opposite elbows. Shoulders slide down, chest broadens. And releasing. We're going to come back down to these blocks, planting the hands, stepping back to a runner's lunge. Hands on the floor at first, but keep those blocks close. We'll rock forward and back a few times. And then dropping the back knee onto the mat, sweeping hands overhead, finding our low lunge. So shoulders are soft, releasing hips down towards the ground. Beautiful. Left hand reaches down this time and right arm reaches up and over. Moving back through center, taking our hands, framing the front foot. Shift the weight back, So toes are pointed towards the forehead, hips are still in tabletop, hinge and fold forward, opening the entire length of the left leg. Taking one more breath here. And then releasing, finding those blocks if we have them. You don't have to use blocks if you don't want to. We'll tuck the back knees. We're in runner's lunge, rocking forward and back a few times. And then we'll take a big step in, planting the back foot, finding our pyramid. So again, feet are separated by about 2 feet or maybe 18 inches, all 10 toes pointed towards the top of the mat, and we'll fold over the front leg. Release the tension from the neck, crown of the head bows down towards the earth. Then adding that twist. So right hand stays, left arm opens up. Option here to circle out that left wrist if you'd like. Beautiful. Bring the hand back down, folding over that front leg once again. And then taking a big step forward for a forward fold. Set your blocks off to the side. We'll roll up to standing. And this time we'll take hands to the low back. We'll just clasp them, finding a chest expansion. Inhaling here and exhale, hinge and fold forward. Releasing the hands down to the ground. We'll plant them, stepping back to a plank just for a moment. We'll inhale here, exhale with control, lower all the way down to the belly. We're going to move into our Sphinx pose. So we're coming up to our forearms here. So again, we're not cranking back on the spine. We're just propping ourselves up on our forearms. We want elbows in front of the shoulders slightly. At our first round, we're just holding here, keeping the neck neutral just by gazing off the top of the mat. Inhaling here, exhale, lowering down. You can stack your fists and let your head rest on top. Coming up one more time. This time, if you'd like, we're going to add a quadricep stretch. So we're still in our Sphinx pose, but if you'd like, you can bend your right knee and you can reach for that foot or maybe the pant leg and draw the heel in towards the glute. So we've done a great job of lengthening the back of the leg. So we need to make sure we're doing that counter movement and lengthening the front of the leg as well. Beautiful. And then releasing, you can switch sides if you'd like. And releasing, taking our hands underneath our shoulders, pressing back to a child's pose. And inhale, moving through tabletop. We're going to move into our frog pose. So to get into this position, if you want, you can take the sides of the mat, fold it in for some extra cushion. This is our big hip opener of our practice. We're taking our legs out wide, creating a 90-degree angle at the knees and the ankles. Good. And then once you feel the magic happening, you can bring yourself down onto your forearms. We won't be here for too long. Option would be taking this against a wall. So you would bring your seat close to the wall. You'd create kind of these frog legs and place your feet on the wall. Making sure we're breathing here. The body might be saying, what's going on? And that is some of the fun of gaining that mobility and flexibility. It's positions like this. Now think about your hips. See if you can press them 1 inch closer to your heels. We're just here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. To get out of this pose, come up to your hands and bring one knee in, and we'll come to seated. So we'll move into our twist here. So we'll take the right leg long, left leg crosses over, hugging the knee into the chest. Inhale, lengthening the spine, and exhale, twisting. Left hand comes behind you. You can gaze over that back shoulder for a twist. Breath is in the belly. And then unwinding, switching sides, taking the left leg long, right leg crosses over, hugging the knee into the chest, creating space in the spine, then twisting. Right hand comes behind you, gazing over the back shoulder. Then gently releasing, bringing both legs long. On the inhale, sweeping hands overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold forward. Knowing there's no need to push or force here, just let gravity do your work. And then inhale, rolling back up, grabbing your bolster or your pillows, whatever you have. And we're going to bring it up to our low back. And then we'll lay ourselves back. And when you get here, step the feet out as wide as the mat, bending the knees, and we'll just windshield wiper the legs from side to side. So massaging out that low back. And the next time the knees are over towards the right, let them hang out there. Just taking a few deep breaths. And inhale, moving through center. Exhale, letting the knees hang over towards the left. And then moving through center. And we're going to find our final pose. So touching the soles of the feet, opening the knees, finding this restorative heart and hip opener. If at any point this becomes uncomfortable, you can always straighten out your legs. And we're going to take a very short, very simple 5-minute meditation here, just to quiet the mind and relax the body. So we'll take a few big, deep, easy breaths, just inhaling through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Now one more time, inhale, filling up. Open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Then bring your awareness to the crown of your head. Just relaxing the crown of the head, softening the forehead, letting the eyes be heavy, the ears, the cheeks, the jaw, all relax. And just continue to soften down, releasing the neck and the throat, the shoulders and shoulder blades, softening all the way down the upper arms and forearms down to the fingertips. Releasing your chest and your upper back, softening the rib cage, the belly, the mid back and low back. Releasing any squeezing or clenching in the hips or pelvis. Softening the muscles of the legs all the way down to the tips of the toes. Just letting your whole body be soft and heavy under that gentle hug of gravity. And then bring your awareness to your belly. Just feeling the natural rise and fall of the belly with every inhale and every exhale. Inhaling, the belly rises. Exhale, it falls. And just following the gentle rise and fall of the belly. Letting your body become more relaxed and your mind quiet with every breath cycle. Knowing that there is nothing that you need to do, there is nowhere that you need to be, except for right here in this moment, giving yourself the gift of a few quiet minutes. And taking a big deep breath in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Gently bring the knees back up. And roll over to one side, just enough to press ourselves up to seated. And taking a big deep breath in through the nose, reaching up, taking hands through heart center. And that is your flexibility flow. Thank you so much for joining me and being here today. And I hope you have a beautiful day ahead.